Hi guys, good afternoon. My name is Yasmina Paolachi. Welcome to my YouTube stream. Today I'm talking about yoga and other things and the benefits of yoga. I do practice yoga now over 18 years, 19 years in April, 19 years. And yeah, so I'm reading some parts of my book. I'm writing a book, a story based in Berlin. It's a novel and partly, of course, stuff from real life experiences. Let's say it like that. I'm sorry I haven't been online recently. The last 2 weeks I have been a bit sick and had a lot on my plate, but I'm back on track, and and I'm very grateful for that. So in the background you see some of my new designs. I also did new designs and I have merchandise, so the links are down below. I have an online shop, and please have a look on my website. And yeah, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel to help me to grow my channel and to help me to grow with my book. And yeah, you're welcome also to leave comments down below, because I'm writing in German and English, but I'm reading the English bits here, and it's the first draft, so there are also always things to correct. I'm sorry, there's something on the door behind me, so I have to sit like that. Looks better like this. Yeah. So I just start. Chapter 61. One way or the other. Understand? The German title is So oder so, verstehst du? The borreliosis is completely resolved after the third attempt with medical prescriptions from Dr. Prees. My immune system feels like it's below zero. One afternoon, I'm walking across the Warsaw Bridge. It's grey, but it's not raining, and I've just taken Linie 1. It's very famous. There's even a theatre play about it. Line 1, the tube. So I've just taken line 1 from the west to the terminus. On the Warsaw Bridge, a newspaper guy chats me up and wants to sell me a subscription to Cosmopolitan and offers me 35 euros in cash. So I don't say no. I can use the money though. I forgot about the subscription. I get one issue right away and trudge home. A new month dawn, and the Cosmopolitan magazine lands in my letterbox. The glossy magazine that I now have on my cheek, which is a German phrase, when you have, let's say, things you not really necessarily need, but then you have these monthly payments and stuff, so you say things like, I have it on my cheek now. I'm not sure, and I couldn't find anything online as a translation which relates to that phrase, but I'm pretty sure as German and English are same, but also very different. There might be something like that. So if you know, please let me know and comment down below. Oh, that's rhyming. To my surprise, I find out that there are also gifts, such as yoga cards with a few instructions. I read an article about it in the Cosmopolitan magazine, and then I try yoga in my room. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it before. It doesn't feel bad. The next day I do it again and work my way through all the yoga poses on the cards and try to keep up to the breathing rhythm. Yes, it's worked a bit better. The next day I do it again, and somehow I feel so newly tuned in, like never before, somehow so subtle, and so on. I get ready right away, and I have an appointment with Tina at the gym, and Bob has asked me if I can help out at the bar for once on top of it, which I'm very excited. I cycle to the gym in the middle of town and snort a fat line with Tina and so on, but somehow I'm still with myself, like centered. That's really new. I feel much more in control. Just a sec. Oh. Sorry, I cycled to the gym in the middle of town and snort a fat line with Tina, but somehow I'm still with myself, centered. That's really new. I feel much more in control of myself and my feelings. And so tuned in. Even drugs feel better after yoga. Yes, all the hip people show up and I'm completely anchored in my new center. I'm also nicely awake. These are the first experiences with yoga. S shows up. I mentioned S in previous chapters. And all sorts of other people, you know. I'm still the nestling, and I know hardly anyone takes me very seriously, as I'm still half-baked. And half-baked means, in German, I'm still so green behind the ears. That's a literal translation to it. But the translation, and what I found out was, in English we say half-baked. So they are all already so wrinkled and established. And I'm the nestling. Oh, whoops. The night flies by and everything goes smoothly. The party continues, of course, but I finish work at 6 a.m. in the morning and go up to Tina's studio. And David Boyson, an artist, bless him, he must have died over a year ago, nearly 2 years ago. He's a very nice, decent artist. He is living in one of the caravans on the side again. And yeah, I was talking a lot to David Boyson. He was a very, very quiet character. Very intelligent, very educated. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm coming out of my shell more and more, putting into practice what I've learned from Tina. We jam in Tina's studio. It was like, yeah, she had like, not a piano, these electric pianos, I don't know the name right now, and all sorts of things. BB snows in with Uli Schuppel in tow. BB often holds his beer bottle as if it were a teddy bear, like this in front of his big tummy. BB grabs the microphone. We're all in great mood. I'm completely exuberant, coming out of my shell. Whenever BB grabs the microphone, Tina turns off the juice. I don't even notice it at first. And I'm always surprised because BB can't be heard at all. We all laugh ourselves silly. You know, it's also kind of a running gag because he is, people used to say about him, Handstand von allen Gassen. So he's on every stage, you know, it's like with his voice, with plays and everything. And then she just turned off, you know, the microphone. Because there were like some facts in the background. Anyway, the liquid runs out and I go down to the bar to get fresh supply. BB wants to help me with the drinks. Oh, I'm always so psyched when he shows up. He really is my muse. Tina and I continue with our fun jam session. Tina thinks I should step on the gas even more as far as my voice is concerned. It's still buried, just like my true genius. So saying that phrase means like stepping more on the gas, meaning like giving more power, you know. And yeah, so I kept back in the day still my voice. I mean, I worked out my voice in a hard way over 4 years studying acting in an acting academy, out through singing lessons and, you know, voice, vocal lesson, you know, all these things what you do in an acting school. And yeah, that kind of worked its way, but still very slowly, I have to say. I needed quite some time even after studying to leave fears out and just go with the flow and stuff like that. I really completely understand why a lot of people think they need to take drugs. I used to be one of them. Everyone has their medicine, right? But the funny thing is, because of yoga is a subtle but consistent help and has such a consistent influence on your life, but in a very, very slowly way. So when I started to do yoga, then good things happened. I was more in control of myself. So meaning when you're more in control of yourself and you feel your inner you more, you know, and stuff like that, that gives you more power, and also you're more chilled. And yeah, and then I played in a band, and then, you know, then I started studying and stuff like that. And also after 4 weeks, like after getting rid of the borreliosis, my immune system was very strong again. So, and then years later I started meditation, and then a bit later Pilates kicked in, and then later on, after a good amount of time, I then started to live a completely different lifestyle, like skipping alcohol, skipping smoking weed and hash, skipping drugs. So that's a completely different thing. And then I turned out to even become vegan-ish, you know, and all sorts of things. So it's a very long process, but it's also so good. Even since I'm in recovery, we call that in 12 steps groups, I did my daily or almost daily yoga sessions, and it helped me so much to improve more quickly and more profoundly. So it's never too late. No matter how old you are, there's even sitting yoga available. Check out on YouTube, there's plenty of yoga. My favorite there is Yoga with Adrienne. She has also yoga sessions for PTSD or panic attacks and stuff like that. She has tons of beginner sessions. Bedtime yoga, because it also improves your sleep habits and stuff like that. Your complete inner well-being and outer well-being. Yeah, and through yoga you meet also, well, you have the possibility to meet also a complete different range of people. So yeah, it's amazing. And it did help me a lot. It did help me utterly a lot. I can't express it in words, in one phrase. It still does. Because I still have a lot of stress at the moment, a lot on my plate. But through the yoga sessions and the breathing techniques and all that stuff, it's like, you know, I can charge my batteries. I'm reconnecting. I keep more faithful, you know. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. I can highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure Tai Chi is good too. I tried Tai Chi myself just a few times, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? So, I continue. So now, I hear from an acquaintances that there is currently a pirate radio station that has got hold of a radio frequency for a few months on air. A Reboot FM in Ziegler Street in Mitte, where the club VMF used to be. I think to myself, it's early afternoon. I'll just go and have a look. I ring the bell, stand in front of the iron door, and someone is opening. I go in. As a so-called reception, I introduce myself. Hi, my name is Lily. What's it like here? I want to go on air. The guy from the radio answers, hi, well, you just send us an email and tell us briefly what you do, and then we will find a suitable studio date for you. So, I say and think to myself, I don't even really know how to use emails. And reply, yeah, cool, that's great. And then can someone in the studio help me with the buttons I have to press while I'm on air? The radio guy smirks and replies, why don't you come by tomorrow and start an internship with us? I say, oh yeah, sure, that's cool. Okay, yeah, see you tomorrow. And from what time, so? Oh, 11 o'clock is quite enough. Brilliant. Cool, yeah, thanks. Well, see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Woo! You feel me? So, wow, I'm flabbergasted. I'm really on the radio now. How cool is that? Golly, I didn't expect that at all. I trudged through Mitte towards Hackeschermarkt to the S-Bahn and go home. Since I have practicing yoga all the time, my life has become more and more eventful in a very beneficial and fruitful way. At home, I tell Oke, my roommate, about my new experiences, full of joy. Oke is happy for me. We smoke a fat joint of first-class hash to celebrate the day and that wonderful outcome. Yeah, well, the next morning I do practice some yoga before heading to the radio. Wow, what a feeling. I'm following in Tina's footsteps in a very individual way. That's fantastic. It is, you know. So this is part of that chapter. I stop reading here, as I want that you guys later buy the book or come to my readings and buy them or purchase it online, you know, or whatever. And yeah, so yoga has a great impact, but also there are some downsides to yoga, to be very clear. I mean, I get that. At the beginning you need great teachers. Also, you need to be very diligent with yourself. Check in. Not every yoga pose might be for you. For instance, I have issues with leaning back exercise. So I get very bad back pain. And, you know, things like that. You need to keep that in mind. And there are so many different yoga styles. Personally, I love hot yoga, or I love vinyasa flow. Personally, I practice very often at home vinyasa flow style. Ashtanga yoga is great too. Shiva Mukti yoga is great. The other one is, yeah, there's tons of yoga styles, you know. Same with Pilates, or you can practice yoga and Pilates, which is called Yoga Lattes, which is great too. So yeah, if you haven't done it, I can recommend try it. If you have tried it a bit, go back and try again. research, try different classes, different teachers, different styles, you know, until you find the real one for you, which works best for you. And that's all I can say about yoga right now. Yeah, and again, as I said, often working with affirmations is very great. Like a one which would fit to be today, exactly where I am right now. I would say, God, if God hired me, who's going to fire me? Thanks so much. This quote comes from Margie, who's spilling the tea nearly daily. And the other one is, everything works out always well for me. Everything works out always well for me. So I hope that for you too. I send you a lot of love and light and blessings. Don't give up, you know. There are blessings in disguise. Rejection is a redirection, you know. It can be painful, even being rejected by people and stuff, you know. Our heart breaks. But, you know, I had recently also some situations with a so-called best friend, which turned out not to be a friend at all, and it was painful. It was more painful to see the truth that I was betrayed for the friendship than the actual thing which has taken place with it, you know. Because also then all of a sudden you're not in touch with that person, you know. So yeah, go with the flow, believe in yourself, trust the process, embrace the change, you know. It will always work out well, you know. And turn to the light, God, universe, however, whatever you want to call it, you know. Everything will be fine. Lots of love. Namaste.